most important part of any relationship is to listen. We were all given 2 ears and only 1 mouth. When you ask, "How is everyone tonight?" we may want to tell you more than just good or fine. Take the few seconds to really listen to us. This is our chance to be in control again. We've been waiting so long to tell somebody about our day. And please, look at us when you speak to us. It helps us hear you, and it's customary to address people by looking at them. We sometimes see our youth in you and like the attention. We may start talking about things that will affect the way we are going to respond to the meal. It may give you a clue as to how we will react. We are human too. Unfortunately, we sometimes have bad days, and we may take it out on the first person we see. For example, a family member may not have called or visited as planned. We just might ache a little more today. It might be a frustrating day to us in general, because our body won't seem to listen to our mind. Forward!
We complain and complain, but listen between the lines. Are we complaining around the same time every night? So you think we are complaining about the same thing every night? And because you think it's the same thing, you or the manager never address the complaint because you think we always complain and it's always the same. It's like the old "Who's on first" routine from Abbott and Costello, Before Your Time. Except this time we're not laughing.
Well, let's see. We have on the bags, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I say, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes,
You gonna be the coach too?
yes,
And you don't know the fellas' names?
well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes,
I mean the fella's name.
who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes,
Well, go ahead and tell me.
that's it.
That's who.
For example, when one of us happens to complain, sometimes it does not always end up as it started. And we end up getting all the residents involved, and before you know it, we don't remember what we were complaining about. All we know is that we were complaining. Mashed potatoes again? Didn't we just have them last night?
No! That was French fries last night!
Wait, I thought they were potato pancakes.
No, they were au gratin.
No, you mean escalloped.
No! I mean, the little quarters with the red skins on them!
Oh, garlic potatoes?
No! They were cold!
Well, I didn't get any of those. And mine had cheese and bacon on them.
No! They had green and red peppers!
Oh, yes, potatoes O'Brien. So what kind of potato is it tonight? It does make us feel good when we can communicate about anything with anyone. When we toured the community, we were told of certain expectations that would be met, and those expectations highly influenced our decision to stay here. We can't simply jump in a car or run out as easily as before. So, to some degree, we are limited to the experience you give us, and we do have high expectations. If you can understand where we are coming from, you may be able to better handle our responses. Someday, you will feel the same. The dining room is the most important social aspect of our new community, where we can discuss the important issues such as what kind of potatoes we actually had. It is also our new family dining room with our new friends, and we depend on you to make it enjoyable. And when you take an interest in what we have to say, it makes our day and meal worthwhile.
Hi, I'm Greg, your maitre d'. Here's a few tips to follow when greeting the residents. Greet the residents by saying hello or good evening. Ask them about an activity they may have been at, a family member that may be coming to visit for a holiday, or a program they may have seen in the last couple of days. Smile and smile. A big smile brightens their day and gets the meal off to a positive start. Don't rush them. They'll probably end up rushing you, and you're probably wondering, why are they always in such a rush? We're not sure, but we believe it is to get the front parking space for their scooter. Use a good tone and volume. Maintain some eye contact. Speak clearly and at a speed that's comfortable for both you and the resident. Address the customers by their proper names using Mr. and Mrs. Don't use honey, sweetie, dear, cuz, or hey dude. Following these simple steps when greeting the residents will get the meal off to a great start. Here are a couple of good tips to follow for manners. Always introduce yourself and have a name badge. Say thank you a lot. If you miss something, pardon, can you repeat that, is great to say, or excuse me, could you repeat that? If they ask for something, a great way to respond is, my pleasure, I'd love to get that for you. And don't yell across the room to your other co-workers when out with the residents. Remember, they're here for dinner and they're not really too keen on knowing who's going out with who and where everyone's going out after work. As the meal's going on, remember to get back with the residents and ask them how they're enjoying their meal. Believe me, the answer you get is going to be an honest one. If you do have a meal where you're having problems or there's some complaints coming about, remember a couple steps and we'll get through it. First one is, remember, the resident is always right. We call it the resident's rule. Even though they might not be right, they really are right. Find out exactly what the issue is. Was it such a big deal, or could have been maybe a sugar packet they needed for their coffee, or a soup spoon for their soup. Sometimes the smallest problems can be resolved very quickly. Let the resident know that we need to correct this for them to enjoy their meal. Ask them what you can do to fix the problem. Solve it right there on the spot, and don't get the manager involved if you really don't need to. Remember that our main goal is to provide the resident with a positive dining experience. They're a captive audience with us. They come back night after night after night, and they depend on us to make their meal pleasant. Here's a couple responses that can be positive or negative. First, we're going to give you the negative response and how it can be replaced with a positive. Response number 1, how you guys doing? A better way would be, how is everyone this evening? Response number 2, I'll get with you as soon as I'm done. A better way would be, I will be with you in a minute. Thank you for your patience. Response number 3, no problem. A better way would be, my pleasure. Response number 4, huh? What'd you say? A better way would be, pardon me, could you repeat that? Response number 5, I'll get it. A better way would be, I will assist you. And our last response would be, later. A better way would be, everyone have a great evening tonight. If you can incorporate some of the tips we've given you today, the residents will enjoy their meal and your job will be a lot easier. Here's a couple things just to keep in the back of your mind. The first impression is the greeting. That gets the meal off to a positive start. The lasting impression will be your manners, how you talk with the resident throughout the course of the meal. Remember to have a daily requirement of listening. It's so important for the residents to have someone to talk to. Many of them are alone, and when they see you, they just want to tell you everything that they know and has happened throughout the day. And remember the survival tactic of handling complaints. Sometimes it won't be such a big deal if you just get in there, find out what they need, correct it, and go on. Gone over a lot of great information today. Our main focus was listening.
Excuse me?
Listen to the residents. And try to interpret.
Excuse me?
Look at them as maybe
Excuse
your
me?
grandfather. And although there is a
Silence, human!
Okay, that's better. I just happen to be the service genie, and I just want to add my 2 cents. 2,000 years of service to mankind kind of qualifies me to say a few things about service. So here it goes. If and when you get a complaint, don't just blow them off. Make it clear that their concern is your priority. Don't blame others for mistakes. Seek to correct apologetically without finger pointing. Don't seek or ask for pity. And don't become defensive. And last, don't deny. Accept responsibility even if you don't feel like you're to blame. Always remember that sometimes being nice seems like a one-way street, but don't lose your head. It's hard to stay mad at someone who's smiling and trying to help. Also remember that you get more bees with honey, but you still can get stung. I'm done. See ya.
We've gone over a lot of great information today. Our main focus was listening to the residents. Listen to the residents and try to anticipate their needs. Look at them as maybe your grandmother or your grandfather. And although there is a generation gap between you and the residents, that doesn't have to mean anything because in the long run, both you and the residents have a lot to give to each other. Bon appetit.